I'm Dr. Jayashree. Today's topic that I will be covering is how to choose the appropriate study design for research. Or rather, I would say that we will be talking about certain common study designs that we use in research. And इस session में आने से पहले I was talking with the course coordinators कि how this session can be made useful for this audience. So if you are engaged in any form of research now or later, and if you find yourself coming across the names of various study designs and the different terminologies that are used and how what kind of indicators are calculated. एक दो indicators मेरे से पहले डॉक्टर राजलक्ष्मी ने भी डिस्कस किए थे. तो हम अभी देखेंगे कि what are the common study designs that are used in research, and I hope that you will be able to understand what these terms mean and how you can use it later when you come across these terms in your career. So this is what we call the evidence-based medicine pyramid. So I think you will agree with me कि जो भी हम स्ट्रैटेजी यूज कर रहे हैं प्रोग्राम में, जो भी दवाई यूज करते हैं या फिर जो भी नया वैक्सीन आता है प्रोग्राम में, तो इन सबके पीछे कोई ना कोई एविडेंस होगा. सो वी यूजुअली बेस आवर स्ट्रैटेजीज ऑन द हाईएस्ट लेवल ऑफ एविडेंस दैट इज अवेलेबल. तो एविडेंस के बिना कोई भी स्ट्रैटेजी हम इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं कर पाएंगे किसी भी प्रोग्राम में. So this evidence comes from different kinds of research that is conducted. So if you see this pyramid, or rather a triangle, you can see that at the bottom there are certain study designs which we call case series and case reports. Then we have something called case control studies. Then we have something called cohort studies. Then we have randomized controlled trials and systematic review and meta-analysis. So the shape of a pyramid is just to indicate the numbers. Okay, so as you go towards the apex of the pyramid, top of the pyramid, the evidence value generated by that study design is of higher quality, or it's higher quality evidence, but there are fewer of those studies that are available. Okay, you will have most of the study, most of the research that is available will be case series or reports. Okay, they are done in larger numbers, but they have the least value when used for changing a guideline or changing a practice. मतलब हम किसी एक केस सीरीज या केस रिपोर्ट के बेसिस पे हम कोई स्ट्रैटेजी नहीं चेंज करेंगे, कोई नई दवाई नहीं इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे. तो ऑल दैट इज यूजुअली फ्रॉम हायर क्वालिटी एविडेंस, which is not to say that the study designs which are at the bottom of the pyramid are not important. Each study design serves its own purpose and it has its own relevance. So we will go through these study designs one by one. Okay, so first, how to choose a study design. So when a researcher thinks that now I have to answer this research question, I am trying to find out if using insecticide treated bed nets is effective in preventing malaria, which is just an example question. Okay, so how will I decide what type of study design I will use? The first thing I will see is what is already known about insecticide treated bed nets and malaria. So what is already known and what kind of evidence is already available. Okay, the next you will see is what is the level of evidence that you want to generate. Or do you just want to create new knowledge, okay, a new finding, or do you want to be changing a practice itself? Okay, so you want to know what level of evidence. Are you going to be creating evidence that when you hand over to the ministry, they are going to change a certain policy based on it? So you decide on the level of evidence that you want to generate. And the most important, how much money do you have in hand? We all know that in every system, resources are always limited. Okay, So money is an important deciding factor. Later in this session, we will see that some study designs are more expensive to conduct than the others. Then you will see whom do you have in your research team. Do you have, experts of a certain kind? Maybe statistics expert, maybe epidemiology expert, okay? Maybe a certain kind of laboratory expert, maybe a certain kind of genetics research, geneticist in your team. So that depends on your research question. What is the question you are trying to answer? What kind of expertise or skill set is required for carrying out that research? Besides that, you will see how much time you have. तो आप लोगों को तो पता ही होगा कि बहुत बहुत बार ऐसे होता है कि हमारे पास कोई ना कोई सवाल आता है ऊपर से और वो बोलते हैं कि इसका जवाब हमें अभी चाहिए, हम अगले 2 महीने में किसी स्ट्रैटेजी इंट्रोड्यूस करने वाले हैं, तो हमें इसके एविडेंस चाहिए। तो कई बार ऐसे होता है कि टाइम कम होता है हमारे पास, ओके, एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स दैट इज ट्रू, ओके। देन रिसर्च कंडक्ट करने के लिए हमें मैन पावर भी चाहिए होता है। तो वी ऑल नो दैट ANMs और most officers, most field level staff are overworked. There are competing priorities. So we need to see how we can get all the time and the skill set that we can get our hands upon. Then we have to see what this disease or health condition that we are talking about, okay? Because there are some kinds of research that can be done in certain types of diseases or health conditions, and for some other study designs are preferable. Then if you are thinking about an intervention, like, are you trying to change something and see whether that change is effective in producing an outcome? Like in the question that we are just discussing, we are seeing if insecticide treated bed nets are effective in preventing malaria. Okay, so the intervention is insecticide treated bed nets. Now, based on that, you will make a lot of conscious choices when you are choosing a study design. Then ethical issues. There are ethical issues in every research, whether you are simply giving a questionnaire and getting answers from participants, whatever it may be. There are ethical issues in any kind of research that we carry out. And I think it's already been dealt with for you, but any research should never harm the participant in any way. So we always focus on human and animal participant protection. So research is done for the benefit of community. So if we end up harming the community, physical, mental, emotional, financial, in any way, if we end up harming the community, then the research is counterproductive. So ethical issues also should be in our mind when we are choosing a study design.